Shovel for me is extraordinary. I come from Lisbon. This is the 4th meeting of the Movimento Acorda. And for me, it is very interesting to arrive at a location. Of course, I know Faro, but I've never done anything in Faro, except maybe at a FNAC or Bertrand presenting a book. And I'll talk about this, guys. In a little while, you will like to hear and get here, have so many people. By the way, there's not one person here except Anna. There's not one person I've seen live or remember seeing live in my life. And it's not easy to be here. It's not easy to be here because this is not a training where you come to undertake and the person who is here in front has audiovisual support and has all the slides ready and has to say everything. And you have to take notes and pan. This is not training. It's not a spectacle either. There's no light, there's no color, there's no sound, there's no confetti, there's none of that. So this is not even a formation. I don't come here to teach anybody anything. I don't come here to teach anybody anything. I don't have that. That is not my mission. Teaching is not that, and it is not a spectacle either. I'm not an actor, a presenter, a comedian. Thank God I'm none of that. I come here to tell you about myself, about my vision that I have about others, about the world, about nature, and about what each of us, through my example, can do to improve our lives. But the only ones responsible are you. Once this session ends, my hands are clean. My part is done. It's entirely in your hands because I'm not here with salvation promises. I'm here to remind you that self-salvation is possible, an entirely different approach. It's my first counter-rope gesture in the church. Note, I'm not Catholic. I even brought a book. The Last Testament where Jesus Christ is swinging on the cross instead of being crucified on the cross, because that's how I see the Master of Masters. And he's right there in front of me. For me, Jesus, not being Catholic, not having religion, but Jesus for me is the Master of Masters. So before him. And also telling each one of you that he will not return. He will not return. The Messiahs are all here. It's us. The only person who will save you is you. You are your Messiah. Having an admiration, an enormous, immeasurable respect, greater than any other admiration for that human being who stepped on this earth. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And the only way we can get to the Father, to God, to love, to nature, whatever you want to call it, is through him, is through his example of freedom, example of sovereignty, example of compassion. This is how we come to love. This is how we come to God. And he's been guiding me. Jesus, through his example, has guided me throughout my life. I have said many times that if I were alive, at his time, I was on the front line with him. He never denied it, as he was denied by Peter, for example, would be in the forefront with him, because there is an example that he brings very strong. Besides those I told you about, that was a fearless man. And all we have to do in our lives to save ourselves is to free ourselves from fear. This is the example. This is what I come to a lot. To talk here today about how we free ourselves from fear, because it is the only force that does not allow us to be free. The only force that this movement wakes up. And I would like to share this. He wasn't born with you because I've been thinking about it. I don't have to create a thing. No. I didn't think of any of this. I have 5 kids at home. I write a lot. I have a lot of responsibilities. I don't have to worry about anything else. It's good. Already kids write nature. Time for me is good. I don't need anything else. But one day I was playing with my middle son named Xavier. He was 4 years old. Now he is 5 years old, because this came to me more than a year ago, and I'm playing with him. I'm driving. He's next to me in the car. We were going to get food for everyone at the house, and he always wants to hang out with me. And there were two of us, play tickle, dance to radio music, and suddenly I'm playing. I look ahead as I'm driving, and there's a voice, a force, an intuition, whatever you want to call it, that told me, you're going to create this, you're going to call it, if so, and these are the pillars of nothingness. In a second, bang, 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 was a revelation. I have no doubt that this was a revelation. I've only heard this voice once in my life, just once. I was in bed with my ex-wife, the mother of my two children, first children. We were next to each other at a time when I had published this book called Hamlet, the best-selling book ever in Portugal in this area, always written by a Portuguese author. I was at that moment full of lectures, paid lectures. It's not like here, paid full. Had to open if they're late because there wasn't room for all the people. Lectures in Brazil, all in great. I'm in bed with this ex-wife of mine, and this same strength, this same presence, this same intuition tells me, now your priority is family. And I left lectures and went to live 6 years with my family in Alentejo, on a hill where no one saw me, and I went to live with my family. I got this voice twice. That's when my priority became family. Forget books, forget lectures, and go live. What now? And when I get this question of, will you do this? It's called that. And these are the pillars. When I got home, I said to my companion, I put my hand on her shoulder. And I said, when I got home with the food, and I said, look, I'm going to do this, like this, like this, like this. If this doesn't make sense, we'll break it up. We already had a 1-year-old son, because when I get this, there's nothing else. I, Nuno, was born to live a great love story. Guys, the big love story is with me and yours. It better be with you. I, Nuno, was born to live a great love story. Cute until the end of my old days here. No, 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 no. I was born to fulfill my mission. I was born to fulfill a mission. I was born to play a role. And look, this isn't just about me, guys. This is about all of you. Don't get hung up. There are loves. You thought it was forever. Forever. It's you. Everything else is cyclical. It will start and it will end. And if it doesn't end, there's no lessons, there's no evolution, there's no learning, there's nothing. We're not here to do anything because it has to hurt. Because pain is a master. Pain is a master. Pain is what makes us question, where can I be better? But do I have to depend on who? After all, who do I have to love first anyway? Pain, a vast highway of love, serves as our mentor. Pain intricately entwines with love. Our greatest love story lives within ourselves, saving us. By prioritizing ourselves and confronting fears, we attain freedom. This initiates the movement. And I came to talk to you, Hernani, first. When I received this information, my head directed me to politics soon. Because what is I thought? Our politicians are shit. There's no turning back. What drives them is not love. What guides them is power. It is interests. Therefore, as what guides our power is power, and interests are all corruptible. I am guided by love, and it has always guided me. I am incorruptible. Incorruptible is whatever you put before me. If it is not in accordance with my values, I will not go there. I will not accept it. I can assure you by my children, easy. So when I get this information in my head, I want it high. Rani, I would like to talk to you. Remember you there a long time ago, it was about this because my head drives me first. For politics, I thought, well, there has to be someone in that assembly who is not afraid of me and who is guided by love and who does not make a policy against others, but in favor of his own ideas. Ideas based on love, true freedom, and true freedom.
Truth is to lead the people to face their fears. It is not to continue to frighten the people. I'm a good guy to go there. And what did I do? Guys, the first 234 months I started to form the party the people. That's why I wanted to talk to you, because I recognize values in you. We never talked, but that's it. So I start gathering people, 10, I think there were 9, 11 people around. And we started having meetings every Monday online. Guys, I chose people who are friends of mine, some that I have known for many years. Of these 10 people, average of these 10 people, I talked to 3. Because within those meetings, and as time went by, I began to understand what was driving them. Not mission, but control, but power, but interests.
A politician today has to be a missionary. What I'm doing here is permission. Are you paying anything to be here? 0. This is a mission. I'm not here to receive money, but I have expenses to come because I live in Lisbon, right? But 0 doesn't seem like anything to anyone because this is mission, it's mission. I am here per mission because it was told to me, from above you will do this, and I am here to be at my service. So when I start to realize that what is happening to me at home online is precisely a replica of what happens in the Assembly of the Republic, that these guys are all fake. This guy's 10 fucking friends, 33 are missing, the others diplomatically, I put them away. Well, it's been good. It's already made me feel our cycle. As I said, a few cycles ended and it's done, and they followed, and I also followed. And I walked there for some time saying like this, my God, Master, how is it? You got to give me lights, man. So I'm going to do this and this and this. I'm going to try to make shit can't be mine. What's going on? And then I started thinking like this, but it's called a foundation. A foundation, wake up. What's the name of Karaka? No. My foundation is part of my system. I have to pay taxes. It has statutes. It's an association. Wake up. It also cannot be, it has statutes too. It has to obey this, that, and that other. Cannot also be association. So it is what mine. It has to be something that flows, that is light, that flows. The movement was not. I got here, it took me over a year to get here, damn it. And when I realized this was a non-profit, non-partisan movement. Non-religious, and I'm talking about a church. This is unbelievable, non-religious and non-profit. I welcome people and I embrace them all. Because for me, we are all in the same line. There is no one behind me. People, followers, and people behind me. I don't have patience. No, this guy, I gotta go after this guy. No, don't go. You don't know me. Don't go. I'm fallible like you. I have vulnerabilities. Like you might have a valence that most of you don't have, that I'm a guy without fear at all of anything, even if a gun is pointed at your head, of nothing. Because I believe in something much bigger than what's here. What if someone did? To get me out of here and into another dimension, it's done. I am not attached to anything here, and will talk to you shortly about this issue of attachment. And I love my kids. My kids have 2 great moms. If I'm not here, and sometimes I make myself comfortable. I was invited here and there to make my sheet. I've never been. I don't feel like doing the sheet yet, but I was invited and didn't go. But if something ever happens, sometimes I miss home. My there, because this here is tricky. There, God is in the greatest. My God is in the greatest. Here is what is complex. Here is what is challenging. It gives me a fucking dick too. I love being who I am. I love moving the way I move. Go where? I will have a conversation among people. And 2 days ago, I was at a table, just me and doctors. I was the only one who wasn't a doctor, but I talked about health with all of them. We will also talk about doctors. Why? Because the main idea of the agreement is the creation of a community of free people without fear. Sovereigns like Jesus, who rule their own lives. No one ruled his life. He did what he wanted. I'm also about to be born the person who tells me, no, 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 you can't do that. No, 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 it's not right to do that. If I have a will, there is no turning back. Because the will is something that comes from God, isn't it? Nobody thinks a will, we feel will. And I say to everyone, believe everything you feel, doubt everything you think, but whatever you feel, always believe that it comes from intuition, which is the map where our destiny is written. Therefore, when we have a will, that will is part of our path. Is it to do? No, but it can hurt the other. No, 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 don't focus on the other. Focus on yourself, because the will is yours. If the other person is hurt or feels hurt, he is the one who has to work processes. And you're being a teacher to him because you're putting him to the test. We're not going to give up something we really want because the other poor thing is going to shrink, he's going to get hurt, and he's going to get hurt. No, 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 no. That's what we were taught to do. That's what we were indoctrinated to do. But that is not the way, because if you have a will and you do not materialize it for the sake of the other, are you afraid of hurting the other? Are you afraid of disappointing the other? Are you afraid of how the other might react if you are afraid? You are not free, you will not be saved. You are not the way, the truth, or the life. And you don't follow the example of the greatest because what he did hurt a lot of people. What he did hurt a lot of people. What he did cracked the ego of a lot of people. Do you think he was thinking about them? No. He had a mission. He fulfilled it exactly like I do every day of my life. So the basic idea of this agreement is to create this community of free, fearless, sovereign people who run their lives, I would say that maybe there are 5 or 6% of people here who are in charge of their own lives. In this audience that is here, there are very few people. There is a large fringe of people who are here. They have someone in charge of their lives, and you just have to be afraid of one person. That person rules you. It's as simple as that. Free, fearless, sovereign, in charge of your life. EE, very important, increasingly important these days, healthy. Wake Up is a movement that aims to create a community of fearless people who are in charge of their own lives and who are their own doctors. And that you are your own doctor. Because I can assure you that half of this room lives on medication. Half of the room lives on medication. We have to talk about that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, okay, guys? So from this vision that I received and that I directed into politics, I realized that it wasn't created then. This movement enters the whole country in this first stage. That is only the first stage. In this first stage, to make people question themselves and open their hearts, and then we enter a second stage with another force. But this first year, 2025, I'm going to go around the country at least 3 times. Therefore, I will definitely come down here again because structures need to be shaken up at this initial stage. I do. 5 kids at home. If there was one force that contributed to me being a better man, it was having chosen to be a damn father. And me, who never wanted to be a father because I was extremely comfortable. Everything was going well in my life, everything, but I became a father at the right time, at 39. I couldn't have been before because I was a big nut. I still am, but I was a different nut, and I've been a father since I was 39. It never ended. It was always giving. I did 2, then I joined a person who also had 2, and this person is the parents of these. The father of these 2 children is non-existent, so we welcome each other, me to them and they to me. It is the greatest proof of unconditional love. It is a father loving 2 children who did not choose to do them shovel, that I can guarantee those 2 who are there. I support, care for, protect, challenge, discipline, and educate in the same way as mine. It is a great grand proof of unconditional love. And then, since we thought that 4 was little 2 months and her 2 still made ours ready, and ours is 2 years old, and that's what glues all this together. And what's important to talk about is that despite having this important family structure, I don't see any of this forever. Forever I am forever, and you are forever, and you are forever in your life and I in mine. Therefore, if someday it has to end, everything is fine, because the mission that was to be done has already been fulfilled. It has already been lived, and there are no big salam aleks here. There is no here. Nothing is life to happen, and we move on, kiss and Yasmin until the next time. Okay? So let's sit inside what is the freedom community. I'm a free man. I'm a free man. We can only be free if we are not afraid. Let's just do here a kind of exercise that can be very interesting, which I have never done on any rope, but I am in front of the master, and it seems to me that it is interesting. Malta, please close your eyes. Malta, who are afraid to close their eyes in public, never know what is going to happen to them, but please close your eyes, okay? Take a deep breath, which is important. We sometimes forget to breathe, but it's essential. Eyes closed, breathe. This connection is super important. Now, before you will a person or a choice arise. A person will emerge that you haven't yet forgiven or accepted. You haven't said what you feel like saying, and that person is right in front of you. Or a choice will arise that you really want to manifest, but you have not yet had the courage to make it so. You at this moment have in front of you that person or that choice. That person is there not for you to point the finger at him, but he is there to show you that you can only be free if you forgive him, that you can only be free if you accept him, whether he has done or said things that you would never do or say, it doesn't matter. This person is there to show you what forgiveness. It has to come from you. That acceptance has to come from you. And that your ability to love, if it's a compliment that you want to give, if it's a thank you that you want to direct, that person is saying that the time has come for this to happen. If, on the other hand, there is a choice, that choice is there to tell you that you have to arrange upholstery, define priorities to finally begin the journey down this path. That person and that choice are there to show you your fear. Your fear, because whoever forgives is free. Whoever accepts is free. Whoever expresses. Whoever expresses what he feels and thinks is free. And whoever chooses to materialize his will is free. If that person or that choice is there in front of you, it would be very interesting for you to take that step forward of coming closer, forgiving, accepting, manifesting what you think. And what they feel, they can simply say, no, no, I don't read you anymore. I don't want anymore. It already made sense to me. It no longer does. I forgive you because I transported myself into your skin, and by putting myself into your skin, I realized the legitimacy of your actions or your words, and I accept you because even I never saying or doing everything said or done, I can accept you. This is unconditional love. This is the Master. This is Jesus. This is the way we get to God. And the choice is exactly the same. You choose not to go there because you have in the hierarchy of your life people above you. You don't choose because of these people.
You do not choose because your confidence, your security, your self-love, your personal power has been drained, and you do not find that strength within you. That choice is right there saying, you guys or you choose me. Or you can read the books you want. You can listen to the people you want. You will not leave where you are, man you choose, or you will never be the man you choose, or you will never be able to honor the reason you were born for. Because we are born in the first instance in a more basic vision to honor our wills, to choose according to ourselves, not according to others. I'm not here because of you. I am here because this is my mission. If you all come together and say, we don't like what Gustavo said, he's a crap communicating Malta next weekend. I'm at the port doing the same thing because I don't need your validation. I validate myself when I honor my truth. It can open my eyes. It was very interesting that this person or this choice that arose there, because it arose in everyone, it was very important that you, when you leave here, manifest what happened here now. If we forgive, why don't we forgive? We are some masters. We are God. We are what? We are the supra sums of reason. The world can only be as we see it. We are the ones who know. Others have no history, no wounds, no pain, no prejudices. Only we have it, they don't, so they can't make a mistake. We can, but they can't make a mistake. So what do you mean? It is impossible for you to be free. If you do not forgive, it is impossible. Because, anger, resentment are very powerful bonds that do not allow you to walk. If I have someone I haven't forgiven myself for and I'm in bed with my wife, a plane, I wake up in the middle of the night and instead of feeling like making love, I'm making love to her. I'm going to be in bed with the guy I haven't forgiven. Because the people we don't forgive sleep with us in our bed, walk with us every day. And they are already hurting others. They are marimba for us. We are the ones who choose to continue with them. They're already somewhere else hurting other people. Forgiveness has nothing to do with the other. They want to liberate if they want to experience the beautiful taste of freedom. Forgive not for them, for me, damn for me, because I want to free myself. I want to know, no, I need to talk to that person again. I don't have to have a relationship with that person again. I just have to forgive her to set her free. And forgiveness exists when I change my skin with her. She hurt me, attacked me, hurt me, was unfair to me. I didn't deserve it, but I change my skin with her and I get her story. And when I understand her story, I will understand the parents she had, the way she was, indoctrinated, the upbringing she had. The result of her experiences is all explained, which is why she acted this way with me. My father abandoned me when I was 2 months old. It's hard to forgive my dad, especially after I'm a dad. Why didn't this guy take advantage of this? This is as fucking good as I puff up. How come I never got this, that I give so much to my kids? I never fucking ever, never did. How come I didn't get this? It created revolt in me when I was a father the first time. When I thought I had everything dealt with my father. Everything resolved in that my father, when I am a father, the first time that creates revolt. And let me tell you something. It all starts with anger. It ends in shame. It all starts with anger. It will end in shame. We will feel ashamed. Okay? So my father did that. How do I forgive my father when I come out of myself and into him? My father had me when I was 23 years old, 20. And when he was 23 years old, he had me. I went there at 39. If I went there at 23, what had I done? My crazy man, what was it like? I know what had I done. What did he do when he was 23? Am I then going out of my own skin and into my father's skin? It was my father at 23 fell in love right after I was born bad. Fell in love, forget it, guys. It's passion, it's to live mine. No one thinks of a passion. Passion is not a strategy we have. Passion is a truth. It is a truth. If I feel it, it's because it's true. If it wasn't for me to live, I wouldn't feel it. I would feel something else. So let's not judge. Let's not imprison people who leave, because passion is one of the great dynamos of life. Great dynamos of life. And then he had an incredible proposal to go work on something that I like to do. I wanted to clearly open the horizons. So if I step out of my father's shoes at 23, father fell in love and had an incredible job offer. I mean, I invited 3 years with all this. Maybe I could have done the same thing. Dad, we're there. Thank you, Dad. Thank you. Because when he leaves, he left me a lesson that I will never forget, and for which I thank him even today, is that when he goes away, he shows me that there's only one person on whom I can depend for this life of me. Because if my father leaves me, I can't count on anyone. I can't depend on anyone. I can only depend on myself. So the man I am today, I owe in large part to my father. We have a relationship. Wonderful these days. But it took me many years to forgive him, but it's done. I forgive when I step out of my own skin and step into someone else's skin and release with my mother. Same story with my mother. I knew every fear there could be. I didn't sleep with my back to the front door. I never knew when she might come in with those fits of madness of hers. I never did. And it took me a long time. I took so much beating, so fucking much. I have an incredible relationship with my mother. You know what exercise I did with my mom? I sat in front of her as if our souls had taken and my mother had me. That being said, son, I know you have a great life mission. Mother will put you through this and 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 this. Mom will do all this to you because mom loves you. Because he also knows that you, to fulfill your mission, have to be prepared. I forgave my mother as simple as this. In large part, the man I am today owes to the fears my mother introduced me to when I was little. What if I wanted someone? No, because there are other ways to go play. Obviously, of course, yes, I'm going there today. I'm not going for one or the other. But for me, for the profile I have, for the fiber I have, I definitely needed that. That's why I say everything is always right. No matter what they try against me, what they say about me, any strategy to discredit me is laughable compared to what I experienced with my mother. Just joking. And that's why I'm fearless. I've encountered them before. They were all this size. So that's why I say, I love you, Mom, and I love you, Dad. They were mine, the two great masters in this life. One, because he left me and taught me that I could only depend on myself, and the other, because he showed all the fears. And today, I'm not afraid at all, because one day I faced this monster. My mother came to beat me to the ground and never touched me again. And I faced the fear of fears I faced. I'm not afraid of anything. Do what you do, say what you say. So, for us to be free, forgiveness has to happen. Forgiveness has to happen. And for us to accept, we just have to give new meaning to things. I have people who are constantly saying bad things about me, constantly saying bad things about me. You know how I look at these people who are opinion makers? They fabricate opinions about people, humorists, for example. They create opinions about people. People think they know me when they hear what comedians say about me. And you know how I look at these people. You know how I take this in stride.
Good, because no one, even those closest to me, ever heard me speak ill of someone who speaks ill of me. Never. This never happened. Never. Don't you know how I look at this? They talk, they edit videos, they discredit. And you know what? What do I do when I look at this? I look at humorists as if they were bees. I seed. I sow the truth, and they take the truth, they try to destroy it, but they pollinate the truth by their followers. They pollinate the truth, and that's why every time the video comes out against me, my follower page grows and the messages grow. It's shovel. Didn't I know you? I didn't know you did this. I heard about you from someone who was trying to discredit Pa. I was curious, went to see your page and passed. That's it. So you accept being attacked when you re-signify the thing instead of being the victim. Instead of being the victim, you're the wise guy. You're the guy who looks down on what they're trying to do to you down there. That's what I do. I look from above because my conscience is up there. The way I see the world is up there. I feel the same compassion for those who speak ill of me. Equal compassion is very interesting, what is happening here. We are being invaded by flies, have you noticed or not? What is this is interesting because this wasn't here yesterday, okay? Can you survive this or not? You can't get love. But he's true. Do you want to go outside for a bit, love? You want to go? Go there if you want, love, then. To be free, forgive, accept, forgive, change skin, guys. That person you saw in front of you, change skin with her just to understand it's not to be best friends. It's to understand just to be free from this and to accept new meaning. Look on the good side instead of looking on the bad side. Instead of being the victims, are you the wise or the wise? And from here we begin to liberate. Because if I feel attacked by what they say about me, I live in that person's hand. This person knows that whenever I attack, I weaken. Whenever you attack me, I will kill you. This person has power over me. Every time he attacks me, he knows he's doing this to me. And here it happens if exactly the opposite. The person attacks me and I am unassailable. And how did I become invulnerable? It's because I love me. I love me. It's amazing. Guys, with all the flaws, mistakes, queras, I love me. I'm in a phase of my life right now, but it's a good phase. Where am I? To a point where I no longer have to look at myself. And that's why I'm here to serve. What I'm going to tell you is super important, guys. Don't try to get into the service when you don't know who you are. I will repeat. Do not enter the service. Do not make yourselves available to others when you do not yet know who you are. Because all that you are going to give, it is the condition they receive in return. I'm at a point where I don't look at myself anymore. I don't care what you give. I don't care what am I going to get from you? I don't even think about it when I get here is what I can give you because I'm already full. I'm full of myself. That mistake fails and fall. I'm guaranteed by a lot of shit I do. I'm guaranteed. Because I am human, because I am fallible, because I am evolving. If there are no mistakes, there is no evolution. So I don't mind failing. I am far from being a perfectionist, and I have no patience for perfectionists. And there's a good fringe of people here who are perfectionists. It's the insecure people who want to show they're safe as long as it turns out perfect. It's just that nothing is perfect. Not to be a thing. What you feel is perfect. And that's why it has to be manifested. And that's why it has to be materialized. So the way I see it, I'd like to say this. This is to everyone. It is as if humanity were all walking side by side. Side by side is not one behind the other. I don't have the patience for that. I don't want anyone to follow me. People who follow the page follow the content. They don't follow me because people don't know me. I don't want followers. I have no patience for followers at all. I like gladiators, who are those who are on my side. I don't want you to do what I do. I don't want you to be like I am. I want you to be what you are. That's what a real community is. That's all of us standing side by side. Everybody side by side, each being who they are. Fuck if this is beautiful, each being who they are. There is no leader, everyone is leader. There is no example, everyone is example. There is no story, there is no reason, there is no truth. Everyone is truth, everyone is history, everyone is reason. So we have everyone here.
Since we were born with a giant wall in front of us, do you remember how you came into the world? You don't remember, but maybe they told you the story. As soon as you arrived in the world, you were systematized, you were industrialized. Many came by cesarean section. When childbirth is not a surgical act, it is a natural act. Birth is of natural origin. It is not of medical origin, but nowadays. And nothing against it, but it is to be careful. Is cesarean sections a good evolution of medicine? Of course it is. Should they be practiced? Of course. In states of emergency, nothing more. Nothing more. Because what happens today, since we were born and already come here to the part of the wall, is only to sustain this part since we were born that we are industrialized and systematized. We, coming from the most sacred place that exists on earth, which is the maternal womb, there is no place on this planet safer, more comfortable than this. There isn't. It is the mother's womb where we all came from at that moment of childbirth, coming from there. The doctor doesn't care about us. You know what the doctor wants to know about his schedule? You know what the doctor wants to know? If you rush the subject, that is to open more. I don't know how many women at the time of childbirth, where we who are being born are the protagonists. We are the ones who matter the least. What matters is the doctor's schedule, our time. Our time does not matter, our time, while babies do not matter, matters the doctor's time. And after we were born, a few hours later, pumped against hepatitis B, everyone. Unless the parents say like, oh, don't touch mine, don't touch mine. What is happening in hospitals these days? The mother is there. She is tired, often abandoned, because the father cannot be present. The mother is in a state of survival, consents, does not consent, no longer wants to know whether to relax. How many times do you isolate mothers so they can do what they want? A mother who is in an absolutely vulnerable state, who does need her father, that the father is the one who made the child, and the father had 9 months by her side watching the pregnancy happen. Dad has to be there. The father is the main pillar. It's not a doctor. It's not the midwifery team. It's the father. Dad was fucking there, but they're sending me away. They're sending me away. 2 of the 3 children I have had, 2 births, sent me away. You were lucky that I wasn't as awake as I am today. You were lucky, but my 3rd child was born at home. I was the one who took him out. Come on. I was the one who took him out with a midwife and $1. You don't need another one. The hospital is not a good place for a child to be born, is it? Only in cases of emergency, yes. There is not born in the middle of all that stress, coming from the most sacred place that exists.
A few hours later, pumped up against hepatitis B, a vaccine that was created to safeguard and protect prostitutes, homosexuals, and drug addicts who swap syringes, and we stuck it in our son. Why? And so begins our industrialization, and so begins the lifting of the wall that we all have before us.
Because then we grow up to take more. Pumps never run out of spines. We say that no vaccine is mandatory. Okay, guys, I don't know if you are parents. No vaccine is mandatory. Oh, none is mandatory. None is mandatory. Oh, but I went to school. I wanted to enroll my son. They won't let me because they need this, that, other. Call the police to make the registration. No vaccine is mandatory. Okay? It's just another story they told us. In a little while, I'll go to vaccines when the health part arrives. I'm just still on the freedom part. Okay, so we have this wall here in front of us. It starts to be built right from the way we were born. The industrial pumps that we start to take after the fears, the beliefs, the prejudices, the pains, the wounds of our parents. Everything that we model, everything that we absorb, everything that parents who never bothered, most of them to heal. Parents who never bothered to love each other. Why? They were also enslaved early on. Slavery is not over. It is only more advanced because slaves, the hell many, most of the Portuguese, most of the citizens in Europe and the world are slaves. Slave. What you want to be a slave is to do something you don't like for an indefinite time. Work in the hours you have to work. Because if you don't work, another comes. You are a slave. You do something you don't like and work the hours I want you to work. You know how slavery ceases to exist when there are no bosses in me? No one orders people. I don't have a single boss. Zero. I'm the one who orders my time, and I'm the one who chooses what I want to do. I like it. I like it. If I don't like it, I don't do it. And we are like this, and that's it. And look, guys, one important thing. You're also capable, okay? You just have to lose your fear. You just have to lose your fear. Most people obey bosses who have no values. Nobody knows what the boss cares about. It's not the people, it's the turnover, it's the money. That's what matters. If you are producing and giving money, you have work. Otherwise, the ward comes another. Therefore, we are in slavery. Our parents were slaves, and so they had no time for us. And so they had no energy or example to give us in our education. Our parents were evil slaves. Let's not be slave parents either. And then we go to school and we deliver our children to school and they become children of the state because we do not even have time to ask nor interest like the school. If it was something that you did not like, did something that you did not like, something in the chair of citizenship, it was said that it made confusion, although demystifying, although stone. This, although inform, and this communication for a child is essential. What did you eat at school today? What did they give at school? It can't be good. The meal costs €1 and so on. How does a meal with soup, dish, dessert cost €1 and so on? Where did that come from? Ultra-processed food with super-saturated vegetable oils, Malta, shovel. When they get home, let's try to give them dinner a little better than remembering what they ate at lunch. All this is our responsibility. Being a father isn't just a thing, man. It's not just a little thing. Guys, being a father it's a huge responsibility. So this wall of ours, which comes from childbirth, the pumps, the fears and fronts of our parents, their slavery, which is what we see, the school, the work to follow, all this elaborates the wall that we have in front of us. What I want with this community of people is that each of us grab your hammer and start breaking down your wall. Ain't I breaking down other people's walls? Are you crazy or what? You have to think, man. I don't have time. I'm not here to help you break down your wall. I'm here to tell you that the one who has to break your wall is you. And the wall breaks if through facing fears. That's how we break the wall. Okomine is all hollowed out, Malta.
I can already get through it. It is all hollowed out like this. I hope and wish that you will be able to start from yours, facing your fears. The only way to be free is to face those fears. Start by facing the smallest fear. Everybody is scaredy. Start by facing a scaredy. Which could be the conversation with that person, or it could be that choice that's been stuck there for I don't know how many years. Your fear, one that could simply be saying no.
or else I'm leaving here today, man. I said I was going home. I said I was going to do that, but I heard that guy talking. It made sense. I'm not going home anymore, and we're going to call. Look, husband or wife or boss, whatever it is. Look, I said I was coming, but I'm not coming anymore, man. I'm going to take a dip. I'm going to see the sea. I'm going out for lunch. I'm going for a walk. I'm not going to Malta anymore. Try doing this. It's delicious. The whole little world that you know and that you think, taking into account what is happening in the world, in Palestine, in Israel, in Russia, and in Ukraine, your little world is spectacular. Try to do this and you will see your world crumble like letters. Because these people that you committed to, because you were afraid that they would go home soon or go to work soon, they are used to being the most important person in your life without being a little bit of freedom. But you come back, try not to come back. What about this person who you think loves you and only wants you? Well, you will see the true essence of that person. And then you're going to have to ask yourself if it makes sense to continue living or having a relationship with that person. Because I can no longer relate to someone who, in the face of my freedom, castrates me, judges me, never charges me. I don't have someone to cover for me in my life. Judge. They judge many, judge many. But I don't relate to any of them to charge. No one charges. Because they only charge those closest to them, Judge. Judge all those who know and those who don't know. But charge only those closest to them. I don't have a person who charges me, guys. A person who charges me. It's a person who has me like this tied up, right? If I have already dug my wall and I want to get there ahead, and I know where I want to go, no one knows. I don't share this with anyone. But I know where I want to go, and if I want, in a few years, if I want, I will live that. If I want that, I still don't know if I want. And I don't know if I'm up for it yet, but if I want to, I'm going to live it. But I have no one to charge, no one to pull me back. If you haven't have, at least most of you question whether it makes sense for this person to be in your life. Is he there doing what? It's the worst of both worlds. He won't even let you go. I won't even let you go. And he still thinks it matters when it doesn't. The importance she acquires is through the moment she looks within, while she looks only at you. She has no importance to herself. He just thinks he's superior to you. Take a good look at who's charging you a shovel and get out of here and get that person out of your life. That's it. You laugh because you think so. This guy is crazy. This shit is impossible, but it's to do. It's to do, guys. But say goodbye with elegance. With elegance, how this just now was already so good. I've learned so much. It's already made so much sense to me, and we see things so good. So damn good. Thanks for everything, but it doesn't fucking make sense anymore. All the best to you. I'm going to move on, and it's done, and this person stops charging. You pull away. If then within this wall that is here in each one has to break their fears, it is the responsibility of each one, because this is fundamental. Guys, I can't guarantee if you're free or if you're happy. I can't, although I can easily read people's energy, but I can't guarantee walking together that you're free or happy. But there is one thing that I can guarantee walking together without knowing you anywhere, is that you are responsible for the state in which your life is. It's that if you don't have the slightest doubt, there's nothing else and no one else, because one day that made me that shovel and beautiful, sand for the eyes. This is what the media does. Don't do this, guys. You're the only ones. You are responsible for the state of your life. If you like it, congratulations. If you don't like it, just as you put yourself there, you also have the responsibility to get out of there. And that happens by choosing new people, by making new choices, by changing our habits. That's it, nothing else is that hard, man. It's not a damn thing, is it? Or is this it? Or we live a life full of fear, fear of this, fear of that, and then that's anything but life is survival. And the human being, when he enters a state of survival, easily mortgages his freedom for a little bit of security. That's why the vaccines, the injections, why? Fear, 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 fear. We created an enemy. We created a threat. Fear, 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 fear. Everything is scared. Everything in survival. Because I can get caught, I can get caught, I can get caught, I can get caught. It can happen to me, I can die. Everything is fear. And then comes security, which is not security at all, but which is sold as security. And people will all sting if all because they are all in survival. Because the propaganda or fear worked. So look what fear is doing to your lives, folks. You are afraid, you are in survival with this person, with this workplace. What is it? You're surviving. If you're surviving, the tiniest crumb is enough for you to be content, man. So many people being beaten at home, so many people being emotionally and mentally abused one after another. But then there's one day when he or she wakes up in a better mood and hugs us and makes love and says he loves us. And that crumb for us who are surviving is a Dom Rodrigo. It was sweet that I remembered here. It's Dom Rodrigo, but the big cake is Dom Rodrigo Malta, isn't it? It's a crumb. You're the one surviving. So the smallest thing gives you security. Most people live in survival and unfortunately does not live. They live in survival because they are afraid. So see the dimension, the power of one fear or many. That is, you will never be free. They are in survival. They will always be in the hands of other people. And worse than all this, because it all adds up, they will soon be, if not already sick. So this is freedom. Awake wants a community of people without fear. It's not to enter to enter. I can't have any actors. No. Of course you can be 20 me, you can be 20 fears. But the main objective is that from the moment you hear this, when it cracks your head, because it cracks your head, when it cracks your head, you make yourself available to start facing them. Then sovereignty, guys, you are the ones who have to rule your life. Damn, no one else here rules anyone. Invent what you invented. Decide what you decide in the Assembly of the Republic. Whatever you want. Nobody's in charge here. Do I have to pay taxes? Of course I have to pay taxes. I have to comply with certain rules, of course. That's a drop in the ocean of my freedom. Damn it, because I'm in charge, whatever you want. Masks a few years ago, and Mafalda was pregnant with Antonio at the end of 22, beginning of 23, and I went to clinics, hospitals, everyone without a mask, everything without a mask, and they were all coming after me, and I called the police, they never did. It's the power, it's the power of the relationship I have with myself. What's the worst case scenario? It's the police coming here and taking me to the police station. Fuck if it's a great experience. I've never been arrested. They can't arrest me, but they can take me, man. I give lectures still serves as Carago content, isn't it? But why did I go without a mask to be the black sheep? No, I didn't go without a mask because I know that it doesn't protect. I know that it's propaganda. I even know that virus isn't serious, so it's not worth it. It's a puppet footprint. Who rules me is I have the mask right here, put it on. I'm going to the doctor. I haven't been there for a long time. I haven't taken a pill in a long time, and there are still 2. No, it wasn't 2 weeks. Yeah, it was It was 2 weeks ago, then a lecture cycle like this.
But it's shovel. I was 2 days with a terrible headache, bad headache. I didn't take a pill because I know why you have a headache. It's not why I have a headache, man, because I'm tired. My kilometers. Kilometers, kilometers, kilometers. Energy, 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 energy. 5 kids at home where they're crazier than them all. Sometimes they're quiet and I get there and mess up all that shit. So I get to the time. Otherwise I rest well at night. Headaches, maybe I'm drinking less water. I drink more water, kid. Because if I'm going to take a Benuron or a Brufen or something like that, that relieves my symptoms, it doesn't treat, it relieves the symptoms. But then you and I recommend, read the leaflet of Benuron and Brufen that are here, I who are always there at home. Read the leaflets and see the adverse effects and see if it is worth it in the face of a headache that passes with rest, with more water. If in the face of a headache it's worth taking those risks, it's not. Then the doctor can prescribe whatever he wants. If it doesn't make sense to me, I won't. We will have doctors here within the community who will give their opinion. But real doctors aren't what we see out there. Okay? Real doctors, integrative medicine, not allopathic. Allopathic is what we have. Where there's a problem, we have a pill. And that's how we work. No one goes to the doctor. Leave without a prescription. That would be spectacular. Everyone comes out with a recipe. Everybody gets out.
With an exam report.
It's a prescription. It's also a prescription. So sovereignty. Command us, look, you're going to do this here. In that, boss, an example, look, it's to do this here, of that, at this time, at that, why? Why do I have to do all this in such a short time? Why can I do all this in more time? Can I do less of this? Why question? But to question a boss can't be extremely fired. I asked, why did I leave the darling who gave me the house? It's not because I was a bad presenter. There's never going to be a guy as good as me, ever. Human like me never. Why did I go? Because the guy who paid me was in front of me. Like, she's here. And I was like this distance from him. And I didn't even look at him. I didn't talk to him. I just walked past him. I don't spend a watt of my energy on people without values. I don't talk. I step like this, as if he wasn't there, transparent, at the first opportunity to walk. I went. It was one of the good things that happened to me, because when I get off television, I start watching television. This woke me up like hell. It was beautiful, and I'm going to leave before COVID. COVID was also a great awakening for me. Great and another awakening for me. I'm glad this shit happened. What was supposed to be a big reset was a big awakening for me. It was a big awakening. And I lived in Alentejo, so there was never quarantine. I was always on the street. I also lived in nature, and we didn't see any news, right? We live seriously. At this time, I know a lot about what happened in COVID, a lot about what happened in COVID. I only share this issue that seems very important to me. These are studies, these are real data. There was the difference between those who took the injection, those who have had problems or died, and those who have nothing happen to them, is based among the fundamental questions. First, there were 3 types of vials. 4.5% of the vials, given this graph, are here. This was the risk level, 4.5% of the vials alone. Fortunately, this is the level of risk that gave bad luck, gave wing to everything that happened. 4.5% in billions. Billions, okay, of vials is much later. There are here about 60. 60 and little percent, where the risk exists, but it's moderate. And then there's about 30%, which is only 11. Placebo, okay, 3 kinds of bottles. It was a Russian roulette, okay, minus the chosen ones as presidents, bam, 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 everybody down here. Okay, everybody down here, something else, immune system. I say this to everyone. Let's start getting into the health part now, which is the part that tells me a lot. I really like not being a doctor. I understand more about health than most doctors because I have dwarf, is it? I look at myself and I have health. It's not the one who studied. They don't study. In fact, they don't study health. They study disease. They spend years and years studying disease. So I know about health. They know about disease. Our immune system, we all have an immune system. All of us. It's like the ground is more important than the seed we plant. Is the ground where we're going to plant it, and our immune system is the ground. It's the land. If we give the soil all the right nutrients, everything we plant will germinate and flower, right? If we give bad ingredients to our soil, to our immune system, nothing catches, everything will rot. That is the difference between health and disease. So depending on people's immune systems than in older people. The unitary system is much more vulnerable. They lead with a bombardment of those where 55% of the chemicals were not announced in the Pfizer leaflet. For example, 55. One of them, graphene, is not described in the composition of Pfizer, the vaccine of the Pfizer injection, takes with a pump of those whose spike protein, only the spike protein, which is one of the elements of the composition of this bite. Only she by herself, nothing else. Only she can destroy a person's lungs. Only she. And that's why I have a family member who, after taking 2 pumps, lung cancer. Him and several others. Just spike protein. Nothing else. Just spike, okay? And then genetic factors. There are people who have genetics that are more prepared to receive things, and others are less prepared to receive others. But what I want to talk to you about this earthly thing, your immune system. Do we want healthy people here? Malta, because of course people live longer now than they did a good few decades ago. They live longer, but they live much sicker. That is, this is incredible for the pharmaceutical industry. That is, we have increased the average life expectancy. But we worsen the quality of life. That is, we are promises to these people for years and years and years and years and years and years. And who bears a huge responsibility in this? The doctors. And that's why I, at this stage of my life, am exposing them all. And that's why I have guys, doctors of the Medical Association, saying like this, let's not forget what I've been saying about them because it's necessary. Expose nothing against real doctors, thank you. They saved so many lives. They play such an important role in society. Now, street vendors, no, let's not go there. Let me tell you this expression that's been in my head for a long time. The medical school and the pharmaceutical industry, they sleep together. Forgive the expression, but we are the ones who are strong. This is what happens. The university and the pharmaceutical industry sleep together, but we're the ones who get fucked. There is not a student who goes to medical school or doesn't have to sell his soul to the pharmaceutical industry. And we're full of doctors who are street vendors. Between those who wander, between clinics and hospitals, between private and public, always prescribing, prescribing, prescribing. You know why? Because some guy in a lab suit comes in, sits down for the 5 minutes the doctor has to see, because he's full of patients, isn't he? The country is completely sick. It has signs that it is to receive the guys from the laboratory, and the guy in the laboratory says so, doctor, we create now. Innovation, the greatest innovation in the world against diabetes, against cancer, against cardiovascular accidents, which incidentally account for approximately 75% of deaths worldwide. Cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular events. Okay, it's all here, it's all here. So we created the big news. Now, doctor, I hear this breaking. That this is incredible, but if you share, you will receive a wonderful pen, plus you have vacations, all paid for you and your family, all included here, there, and do you know if I put in the annual? Okay, that's it.
And the guys get it, they don't even read it. Exactly prescribed. It's important that you realize when you go to the doctor, there's one thing you don't leave with. They come out of there with the cure shovel, I can guarantee that. Doctors do not cure patients, doctors manage patients, drugs do not cure diseases, drugs generate diseases, because if they were cured, as everyone knows, it was an agumbo in the business of the pharmaceutical industry, Gere Malta. I have here a leaflet that I need. Leaflets are Bibles. God forgive me, he says.
It says the three diseases that are at the head as the most serious, there is one that is also not mentioned, and the first is the collateral effects of collateral effects. That can't be said either.
The side effects generate diabetes, cancer, and cardiovascular concerns. Is that right? You can.
Be said to be exhaustive.
Of course not. Of course it can't be said. Of course you can't say Malta.
Oh, attention. New vaccine that will cure cancer. Attention. Guys, you're not into this. Guys, what's the name of that drug now that came out for obesity? Obesity, what's your name? Hey, tell me, Aussie, Pink, or what do you call it, Malta? You're not into this, guys. Sure, I'll get that part. Let me just come here for a doctor's prescription. Guys, this family member of mine is currently dealing with lung cancer, and it has already spread here, there. He went to the doctor after he was there. 30 days hospitalized. 30 days hospitalized to monitor white blood cells, red blood cells, and platelets so you can do the chemotherapy cycles. I say this to everyone, and I say publicly, I must not have cancer in my lifetime. Even though my grandfather had cancer, not hereditary, I could go there, I shouldn't have it. But if I do, if I have something that I will never do, chemotherapy, oh, that I can assure you never. And I say this publicly because if it ever crosses my mind, make them all fall on me and wake me up, okay? Never chemo, then. So this is this person who spent 30 days in the hospital sleeping badly, who sleeps badly in the hospital. Let me just share. Cancer patient, I made a video a short time ago. Why does this have to be talked about, or is it hypothesis? Cancer patient snack, cancer patient snack, latte, biscuit, sugar.
Sanga gluten.
And you have a nutritionist managing this situation, which is even more amazing.
They don't generate disease, that's what they do. Okay, so toxicity in food terms, the three big groups includes lactose, gluten, and sugars. Everything a cancer patient can't eat. An everyday snack in an oncology ward. Is that what this shit is? There are no cancer patients at the school yet, but they walk there, but in an oncology ward. Malta, in an oncology ward, where they are offering the cancer patient the most toxic food there is.
They hand me over to the assistant. Poor thing, haven't you studied? It's there, all right, but with the connivance of nurses, doctors, and hospital administration. What do you mean?
No nutritional knowledge?
What do you mean you're getting into that? But he was there for 30 days. When I was there, clear, I couldn't ask for cookies, otherwise I'd be upset. You were there for 30 days. When you left, you had bad night's sleep, didn't you?
You asked the doctor who knew your whole case, doctor, please give me a muscle relaxant so I can finally sleep peacefully in my bed, just to help me a little chemo, just to help me, sir. Doctor, please, okay? And the doctor, of course, here could be even better, prescribed this that is here, this leaflet. It was this person who gave it to me because for what it was, I started taking it.
After 3 days, I started having symptoms that don't make sense.
I went to see the bully. I noticed it smells like the bully. I noticed this is called Mirta Spina Kraka. Looks like a Russian scene. What is this, guys? The person asked, listen to this. The person asked for a muscle relaxant to help him rest at night. Just a little bit, and that energy, doctor? Should I give you an antidepressant? This is an antidepressant, okay? Now take a good look at what's inside this. I don't know if there are people here who take antidepressants. I don't want to know, but there are. I don't want to know. Let me just tell you one thing. No antidepressant will cure your depression. None, 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 none. This does not cure depression. It generates your depression. You know what cures your depression? Better choices, better habits, pleasure, passion. This is healing your depression, pleasure, and passion. Depression is the absence of passion. Passion comes from the way of the wills. If I don't respect the will, that's what I feel, that's what I am. I don't know who I am. I lose myself. Depression, there comes again, okay? It's as simple as this. Your depressed nature, contact with the body, fall in love with you. It gives you pleasure, is that it? And you go off the medication. One of the notes that's here says like this, even if the depression has passed, it's not part of taking. It says here, Malta is dark. No, you're not. Go on, guys. The person had 30 days. 30 days. Hospitalized to monitor red, white blood cells and platelets because it was all in the streets of bitterness. Guys, what is not my astonishment when I read what is here? And it says possible undesirable effects. It says reduced red, white blood cells and platelets. Guys, it's written here, guys. I can pass it on to you, which is for you to say. It's written here, mine. The reason the person had 30 days in a hospital, asks for a muscle relaxant, leads to a depressive act. As the undesirable effects is the reduction of what took him to the hospital for 30 days. Barely is our health. They're there for bonuses and trips and pens. It's them. They're there for that. Our health is the least. They care. And now look at this. It's not over. Whoa, whoa. Very frequent effects. Doctor, I just want to sleep a little bit at night, shovel. 30 days without sleep, a little muscle relaxant takes this very frequent increased appetite and weight gain, diabetes, therefore inertia or drowsiness, headaches, dry mouth, very frequent, okay? Frequent Malta, and now it is preparing that this will never end. Common lethargy, dizziness, unsteadiness or shaking, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, constipation, rash, joint pain, back pain, muscle pain, dizziness or feeling faint, feeling bloated, tiredness, vivid dreams, confusion, anxiety, insomnia. I want to sleep a little better. Take that drug, frequently causing insomnia, infrequent memory problems, fainting, low blood pressure, hallucinations. If you kill me, it's because of this.
Yes, that's it.
Is everything here, guys? The person just wanted to rest a little bit with muscle relaxant and have a chemical help? Guys, this is an unmistakable example of what you're doing to people. This leaflet will accompany me in every wake up because it is one thing for me to speak, another thing is for me to read a scientific thing where people believe more because it is written here. So if you take antidepressants, and I know you do, there are people here who take them because I can easily read people's energy when they get home, read the leaflet of what you're taking. Read the leaflet and see if it's worth the risk you're taking to sleep a little better or be a little calmer. And they can't be calm because here it says that frequency and anxiety too, as of course that's why you're going to the doctor with a shovel today. Look, I got this message 2 days ago, buddy. One person was full of headaches.
Headaches, 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 never passed again, did not question. We are our doctor. I have headaches. Why do I have headaches? I have to ask myself this question to myself, and I do my own analysis is what I did. So is that I did not take anything 2 weeks ago. I have headaches, never passed again. Of course, do not change habits, do not pass, just try to aggravate, okay? I went to the doctor, was referred to neurologist. Took tests, headaches, almost recite, this. This was a message I got on Instagram, 5 or 7 pills a day, 5 or 7 pills a day. He took that for 2 weeks, stopped taking it, went through the consultation with the pulmonologist and told him, doctor, I stopped taking it. You know what this guy did? He referred her to psychiatry. It's amazing, guys. It's amazing, guys. The neurologist, the person stopped taking it and refers him to my crazy class because he can't stop taking it. I have this message there on Instagram. I don't have it. I'm not a doctor. I don't have an office. But if I had an office, it would always be full. I can assure you, I get 56 messages a day. You're barely saying that, look, I got this. What am I supposed to do? And I can't go to sickness because I didn't study sickness, right? But I can go to health. And what is health? And this is where I wanted better habits to come in. That's health. There is only one disease in the world that causes all the others. Called If Toxicity has been about this several times on my Instagram. Toxicity. And what is toxicity? It is what we breathe with the blessed ones. Unless it is camp trails that launch from above to spray the animals, spray the earth, where the food that we later eat comes from. It's real. It's not a conspiracy. Nowadays, any conspiracy is based on someone telling the truth. Okay, that's what happens. So what is toxic? What do we breathe? Guys, you live in the city center. Whenever you can, escape and go to the sea. I live only in nature. I come from time to the city, but I live in nature. It's a choice. It's a habit. And I changed this habit of mine because I am responsible for my life. And I'm my doctor. And I realized that if I'm my doctor, I need to breathe better. So toxicity is what we breathe, then what we eat. Our large and delicate intestine is about 7.5 meters, approximately 7.5 meters. Seems impossible, doesn't it? But here you are, 7 feet. You know that 70–80% of our immune system is in our gut. 70–80% of our fertile or rotten soil is in our gut. Therefore, pay attention to what we eat. Pay attention to what we eat, because everything we eat will end up in the intestine. Nothing is more intimate than eating. No one puts that much inside of them that isn't food. What we put most inside of us is food. So if our gut, where everything goes, if 70–80% of our immune system lives in it, what you eat has a giant weight on the level of toxicity that lives inside you. Okay, what kind of food do we have these days? Processed and ultra-processed in a big way. Much worse, big and French. If you go to the supermarket and you want to buy something organic or something healthier, the price skyrockets. EE doesn't mean that production was more expensive. It's just to keep people away from health. Bars, cookies, sodas, everything's always on sale.
And the options never.
But they end. It was something that shocked me in these numerous visits I made to the hospital, to this family member of mine. I barely entered the wing where I had to be to see him from the right side. I barely entered from the right side. In Santa Maria, there was a kiosk selling everything that is worse for health: gum, ice chocolates, cakes, patties and croquettes with saturated fat. All in a very short space, as if that wasn't a hospital and shouldn't be 11. The example of health is not equal to the sweet spot, equal to the continent, equal to everything else.
Barely them.
I don't care about our subject. They want to sell Malta.
Sell food?
Sell food and shovel.
I have an alternative. Things are diminishing constantly, fewer each day. Almost alarming, right? Considering our essentials like breath, sustenance, hydration, everyone loves a fine wine, myself included. It's an undeniable pleasure that starts from the very first sip.
The moment that
In this waking life without any alcohol at all, I sometimes risk my sanity, losing my mind completely. When the need arises, I enjoy a drink with meals. It is something I savor, although it's not part of my day-to-day life. Not a regular occurrence, just sporadically, since alcohol can be incredibly harmful no matter the variety.
Diseases.
Cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and cancers, as I told you, account for about 7,475% of deaths worldwide. The main deaths are due, if to this, causes stress, poor sleep, poor diet, physical inactivity, alcohol.
Tobacco. It's all here.
With this information, we have to do something with it. Shoot. But I really like to drink, okay? So instead of drinking 2 cups, switch to 1. That's what I said in a video. Malta. When Malta knows that smoking maca and always continue to pull on the cigarette, here the guys invent in military laboratories to the pharmacists. This is a joke, man.
All these people are.
Pulling on the cigarette repetitively shows their disregard for their well-being.
There's no telling.
Another thing, I'm sorry, move on susceptibilities, but that's how it is. That's why this exists, is to crack heads, to see if the guys wake up a little. So what we breathe and eat is highly toxic.
What do we drink?
Highly toxic substances are present in soft drinks like malt beverages, Coke, iced tea, and Sumol. Malta beverages are essentially poison being loaded with sugar.
He's the biggest villain.
Sugar, forget it.
Look, what about the...
Kids' parties usually feature an abundance of sugary snacks and drinks.
In my house, me?
I have 2 children with shared custody, and in my house, they do not touch sugary treats. They might consume them in another household.
It is what it is, and I cannot control everything.
Everything is perfectly all right in my place. Oh, shoot, I really want this. No, absolutely not. You're insane, bro. Water is consumed. Smoke is airborne. It's natural smoke.
Drink water from the rocks.
Not flavors, not flavors. Water from the stones. From the stones is not that of artificial gas or natural gas, okay? Hey, buddy, naturally, let's head out from here briefly, grabbing Monster, Red Bull, all this stuff. It's ultimately the parents' responsibility as educators to guide their children there. We engage in breathing, eating, and drinking subsequent to what we consume. The medications you use are extremely toxic. None will address your health issues comprehensively, as drugs merely alleviate symptoms temporarily without curing or treating. It's like living in a fantasy world, very toxic. In regard to vaccines, all of them. I'm fond of them, however. If you only oppose COVID vaccines, it's worth discussing comprehensively. I'm open for talking about everything, truly everything, folks. All to me, all the epidemics and pandemics we've heard him talk about since the 1918 Spanish flu.
They are all created in military or pharmaceutical laboratories, all to destroy families, destroy peoples, and control the world population. All maids, all of them, without exception, are in the lab. That's why, for me, none of them are worth it. Even if they try to say that they are causes, natural tragedies, environments, and animals, all created.
For me, in my view, pandemics and epidemics, all created in laboratories. All of them. Not Malta, but the vaccine saved thousands and thousands of lives. No, it didn't save anything of mine. If that's the story you've been told, what happened to many peoples? What happened in many peoples is that Suddenly, drinking water came from sanitation, and the populations survived because of that, not because of the pumps due to that.
Drinking water, sanitation, Malta. Why didn't COVID enter Africa? Why didn't COVID enter Africa? Guys, why are guys always in the sun? Because guys eat from the earth, they eat from the earth. That is, their unitary system is expected to be super strengthened. Vitamin D, food from the earth, has nothing to do with what is going on with the West. Where are we? That everything is ultra processed and attention, that the sun is not an enemy of the Karago, puts protective, and protects precisely to evade. People say, brother, sorry, I didn't realize anything. Sorry, I didn't imagine, but man, if it's compressed, I don't believe it, but I didn't know, I didn't imagine. Well, I believe it, but I didn't imagine it. For me, my vision has more to do with nature, okay, that I protest them, says company hesoquin okokokok. So it doesn't work there. Because the age system, their terrain, which I talked about a moment ago, their terrain, which is the age system, is very strong. But what is more toxic? Maybe it's more toxic than all this. Malta is what we feel and do not live. And what we think about is the people that are around us, that we allow to be around us, to influence daily, consecutively our lives. This is really toxic. One of the causes of death of these diabetes, cardiovascular and cancer, has to do with permanence of toxic people in our lives, more so emotional. What's more emotional? It's you knowing what's good for you, what's good for your emotions. And you don't give a shit about it, but you don't manifest, but you don't materialize your toxic environment. And when you think, no, I can't, I feel like doing this, but I'm not going to do it because it might hurt that person. Try to understand the level of toxicity that is going to enter your body, and that brings you closer to getting cancers. Make no mistake, most parents who lose a child have cancer to follow. The hypothesis, because it is an emotional bomb inside the organism. So the next time you want to do something, but don't do it because of A, B, C, or D, try to see the toxicity vaccine you're putting into your body. If we have two rows in our life where one says best habits is through this door and the other says medication and surgery. This line with medication and surgery is full of people Malta and the other zero. There is no one here to change habits. Not much easier, given what I'm feeling, to take a pill that is to fall asleep, that is to calm me down. The pill solves, it doesn't. Pill gets sick. The pill helps kill the pill. It helps increase your problems, something that can be cured. Change of habits. Change what? How to change what I drink, change what I think, because we have to be in control of our heads, okay? Guys, my head is out of control. No, that's a lie. We control the head. I always wake up very early. Very early, I'm in bed and suddenly my head starts this and that and that and that. And I wake up with a certain amount of energy for the rest of the day. Me and all of us, if we sleep well. We have a good amount. If we sleep poorly, we have a weak amount. If in the morning I start thinking about this and that, the little energy with which I woke up, if I slept badly, begins to empty. Which is the first of the first things my children come to me to do. When they wake up in the morning, their father comes to do push-ups. It's not to have a cute chest, it helps, but it's not. It's because when I'm in contact with my body, my head has already switched off. Contact with the body, contact with nature, turn off your head. If yours here today is already Mila 1000, contact with the body, contact with nature. You will get rain into Tiso, you will get cold, get in the sun, move, jump reflections, do whatever you want, run your head. He hung up. And that's when we show her who's in charge. It is us, and we have to command it.
Because our head is only for one thing, to create strategies, to manifest what we feel. It is for that. It is not to command us. It is not to command us. It is not to scare us at all. It is to create strategies for us to manifest what we feel. I want this. I have this dream. The head is used to create a strategy for me to get there, okay? To get there, what I have to do is this. It is not to stay coward and your head bombarded every day with what you see in the media, with what you hear about the Assembly of the Republic, with what doctors say, afraid of this, that, and that other. No, the head is not there. Although the head is dominated, indoctrinated there. The head is used to create strategies for us to live. What we feel is our truth. The way is the truth and the life. What I said right at the beginning of this lecture then. You're responsible for this change of habit. If you are not healthy, the responsibility is yours. Given what you have heard here today, there is surely one token or another that has fallen on everyone. There is something you can start doing from today, whether it be in your food, in what you drink, in what you take, in what you do to control your head, in the people around you, in the processes of forgiveness that you have to do, of acceptance that you have to make a difference. It is critical that you act on this, because this power that is here, this power that we are all receiving from each other, this is an expiration date. In 2 days it is zero. It is zero. In 2 days there is no strength, because you have already been swallowed up again by the system, swallowed up again by the world. If there's a space for you to act, it's for the next few hours. It's until you go to bed. It's the main space for you to act. What do I feel like doing, and what do I really have to do now is now? What do I have to solve this, that, or that is now? What was I going to eat now? But since I heard this, I can take something else out and put something else in. What can I do? What is it that I can reduce? Tobacco. I can reduce tobacco. Alcohol. I can reduce alcohol. Shovel. I heard that shovel. I drink more slowly. It seems like a lot. I drink more slowly, but I won't repeat. I'm not intoxicated. What can I do now? Because if you do nothing tomorrow or the day after, the strength that was given here, this awakening that was given here, no longer has strength, because you have already been swallowed up again by your system. You have already been swallowed up again by your habits, which at this moment are under threat. Your habits right now are under threat, So it is now that you have to face them and transform them. I just needed to tell one last story. I don't know the time, but just one last story. Noon is that, okay? It's amazing how it's possible. There's no clock here, it's noon. I just wanted to tell you one last story that I think is interesting. When I published this book that has a lot to do with the issue of sovereignty, when I published this book, which is my 14th book, this one here, I am Vitor in Portugal, who wanted to publish it. Besides, no one wanted, only one wanted. They had the balls and ovaries on the site were amazing, and they shared this. This is here. No, don't obey anymore. It's don't obey the New World Order anymore. Okay? It's the globalists who want to control all this. Some of you are in it. Okay, that's it. It's not worth us going too far out there. When I published this book was at #1 in the top sales. It barely came out. I'm going to advertise this book. I'm going to present this book to FNAC do Colombo. Just left SIC in an interview with Julia Pinheiro, where he said live that COVID was the biggest fraud ever in the history of humanity. I didn't even know about Miss Half yet, and that was already true for me. And I said that live, I left. Then I went to FNAC do Colombo. It was the most epic book presentation I've ever had. There was no room for one person at FNAC do Colombo. FNAC do Colombo was overflowing with awake people who had everything. With everything. It was amazing. In the middle of that presentation, he said he had used N fake tests to do this, that, and that, other fake tests. I'd get on the phone and run the fake tests. How I knew it wasn't a threat, because it wasn't like that in any numbers. That's not in asymptomatic people. If you don't have symptoms, you don't.
Obviously, it is not these so many stories that there is no explanation. And when they take this part and put this part out on social media, ACNN took this and took a little panel from there to talk about it, to see if they could force the public prosecutor to file a complaint against me for a bad example and misconduct, and for playing by the rules, for having publicly admitted that I had done fake tests. Then I was contacted by CNNE. I made a point of clarifying whether to make a statement, the comma and past. You will read exactly the comma. What I'm going to write here, if you don't say, I have here the proof of figistics. You disrespected, and they, at the end of those panels and those of all those people debating, read that the comma were incredible. Where I said that all the tests were fake, that yes, I had admittedly used fake tests, but that all the tests were fake, including those purchased at the pharmacy, that it is also proven today that they could not distinguish a normal flu from SARS-CoV-2. Okay, everything was fine. But what happened? This book came out in that first week. Top #1 sales to me was amazing. The next week, print, radio and television press fell on the book and the author, and the book disappeared. What do you mean by that? And that's what you have to experience in your life. That is, the path of truth is narrow and steep, because few walk it, few the path of the flock. The path of the obedient and submissive people is my giant. Everyone walks there. So it's a Gibravado jungle that never ends. Everyone walks there, the path of truth, very little surfed. And to live a path of truth, you cannot be afraid. As we talk about the EE first, then the only way you are free. That's why the phrase that's here is your truth, it's your freedom. You can think that you are free. If you do not respect your truth, you will never be free. You can be free or the eyes of others. But for you, you know that it is not your truth. It is your freedom, and our truth has to be put here without fear. Following this book, the same publisher decided that I publish this book, The Last Testament, therefore there is the old, there is the new. And then there's the last one. And in a Catholic country, I put Jesus swinging on a cross that is also strong. And the subtitle of the book, as I said at the beginning, is You Are the Next Messiah. You are the next Messiah. Only you can save yourself. This book is my best personal development book. I have 16 writings. It's my best. My best was my least selling book to date. Which sold the least because it came right after this book. Fnac, without knowing what it was doing, opened all the stores in the country. I went to every Fnac in the country to make revolutions with this book. After they realized what happened to this book, I had the national marketing director of Fnac, called Ines, call me and say, Gustavo, you can no longer do this in our stores. But to do what, Ines? You can't revolutions then. But isn't Fnac a free space? Yeah, but it's not. But not this book that is here, which was a book that came out next, had all Fnac rooms cancelled, all of them. And it is. And there is a good part of these books that is hidden in OK warehouses of Fnac and Bertrand. So this book had absolutely no opportunity because it was from the denialist, the chalupa, the extremist that I was neither chalupa nor extremist 00, neither chalupa nor extremist. But what do I want to tell you? And this comes here. This book is only here because I republished it. Because it is the book that sold the most, and it is the book that, at an early stage, it is the book that makes a lot of sense. Why do you want to talk about this book that's here? Why would the boss talk about this book that's here? Because I have, after that publisher that published The Name of These More, and the last one, precisely the publisher, who is my friend, is the only publisher I talk to, Shovel. I published maybe 8 or 9 publishers. It's 16 books. It's the only publisher with whom I talk and with whom I exchange good words. And he, Ricardo, they are now in Great Soul of Books. He is in Great now. And mine, this friend of mine told me so, Gustavo. I said like this, Ricardo, I have another book here, bro. Take it there. And Ricardo said to me like this, Gustavo, man, I can't do it, man. I can't do it, man. The Name of These Most Sold, well, top. The Last Testament didn't sell anything. And that's it, my brother. You are very burned. Mine was, this is my friend. Oh, my friend, you are very burned, mine. And I burned how? Ricardo is shovel.
Come on. People all make fun of you, make others think like this about you. Listen, this is a publisher, bro. I have to sell. Don't I have to sell? So it's shovel. What do I recommend? Gustavo. I love it when you give me recommendations when I know who I am. I love it when you give me recommendations. But he's my friend. And I accepted what I recommend is shovel. Take you away for a while. It's like 2 years without writing Ricardo. Fuck, how can I go 2 years without writing if I'm always writing mine? How is it possible? Shovel. I can't, the guys have to forget you for a while. Ricardo Malta won't forget me, man, because I will always be on top of all this. The guys won't forget me. Ricardo is shovel. So Gustavo, shovel, I don't know. Try something else. It doesn't work here. It doesn't work, my friend. And continuing friends. And I thought like this, fuck. Hello, I just used this. I'm going to say now. At this moment, I'm the best-selling author ever in Portugal in this area, me anyway. There is not a publisher in Portugal who wants to publish one for me. I would like to tell you this. If this book cost 10 EUR per sale, at a Fnac or Bertrand, I get 1 EUR 10%. I, the author of the work, the guy who spent months writing, get 1 euro for each copy. The publisher receives 2 EUR, receives 20%. But I get it. That is, the guys believe in me, they invest in the book, they have to pay a capist, a paginator, a proofreader, a printer, distribution, twice as much as me. They believe in me. Top the distributor, who is a guy who no one knows who he is, who takes the books from the store or the printer and puts them in the stores, receives the same, I don't like this anymore. Look, this guy only takes boxes. A guy who only takes cash. You don't need to have a soul to pick boxes, but to write what I write, you need my soul. I need channeling. I really know I don't like it, but you know that I know I get a Fnac or a Bertrand or a Bullhoza to have the book on a shelf like this. 60% Malta. I get 1 euro out of 10. They get 6 euro out of 10, 6. And I think so, my fire. If I've sold tens and tens and tens of thousands of copies of my books and made X, these guys made 6 times more than I did. Hold on. Then it all begins. We wake up. No one wakes up. No one wakes up completely. We wake up from persecutions. Now it's food. Now it's work. Now it's relationships. Now it's children. Now it's family. We wake up by sections, and I woke up with this section recently. For a year and a half, I started doing accounts. Wait, no one wants to publish me. Not even my friend, I'm burned. These people never cost me my head again. I'm burned. The stores hide. Hide. This is the verb, to hide. They hide above all these 2 books, the Last Testament and Don't Obey No More. They earn 6 times more than I do. They won't let me perform in their amphitheaters. Wait a minute. But I have to keep writing because I love writing. I feel like writing. So I'm going to continue writing. And in addition to continuing to write, I'm going to create a publishing house and I'm going to sell the books directly. And that's what I did. This is my first book on my publisher and one that no one can find in store. And that I don't give 60% to the system. Because when I realize this, I'm feeding the rich to stay richer. It can't be. So if I'm so awake, I'm sleeping on this. I have to wake up too. No other book is my idea. Today it will stop at bookstores, no more. Seeing here, this book costs 22 euro, more franc than I can tell you. Now, it is not possible. It costs 22 euro. It cost me euro 6 to produce everything included. When you buy it, I earn 16 euro, and I earn very well, Malta.
While in a small store, because it costs 22, I earn 2 EUR. Here I earn 16. Each person who buys this book, I earn 16 EUR for myself. And I deserve it. But I deserve so much evil. But I deserve so much because they pressed. Narrow and steep path for a guy. Bend, bend, bend. But when we know who we are, do whatever you want. I'll reinvent it a few times if necessary. Shut down what? I open it there. It's not possible. And then I go the other way. And this is the power that I liked, that people would start drinking. In this movement called awakening, it is people realize that regardless of the challenges, regardless, no matter the hardships, no matter the threats, no matter the judgments, no matter everything in this community, no one else is. The journey begins all alone. The warrior begins the journey of his self-knowledge. Always alone, because you have to abandon everything you know, all comforts, all people. All the sand for the eyes, everything pretends, abandons everything. And when he takes the first step, I'm past here. All these people who are back here, they all talk bad. They judge, they charge. This first step is tricky because they're too close to us yet. Everything they shoot hits here. If I look back, I go back there again. So it's all hitting everything hitting us, and we keep walking. And the more we walk, the more we break our wall, the further away these people are, and they can continue to scream, but we can no longer hear them. They can continue to pound hard, but it no longer hits us. And then a magical thing happens after this path, that everything we did alone, without looking back, always looking forward. There's a moment when we'll look to the side and we'll see who. Warriors who, like us, had the courage to let go of all that energy that was back there, who took it with everything, who heard everything, and still chose. It's a choice never to look back. It's with these guys that we look around and see. It's with this bunch that we have to mate and have children, because it's from here that the new earth comes. Thank you, guys. I would like to tell you that this is a movement, and I have no problem with it. This is a spiritual movement, not a political movement. This is a spiritual movement, in the sense that the priority is centered on my mission. And this is the last message I want to leave you, which is not to repeat. As I said earlier, don't put yourselves into service without first knowing who you are. And you, in order to find out who you are, you have to face your fears. One by one. It takes as long as it takes. It takes 15 days. Impossible takes 5 years, 10 years, whatever time it takes from there. Only from there can you be in service and mission. As I am here now, as I told you, whatever mistakes I have, whatever falls I have, whatever failures I may have, because if I do not fail, I will not evolve. I am self-assured by myself, because I have an absolutely unconditional relationship with myself. I give myself the right. To succeed and fail, I give myself the right to win and to lose. I give myself all this right. Freedom is not your right, because it is written in the Constitution. Freedom is your right. If you choose to be free, it is much more in your hands than anyone else's. Okay? Guys, thank you so much. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or not? Any questions? Questions.
Who were your inspirations?
One of them is Master E, the other is my life. I don't have it.
Not the investigation.
No. Zero investigation, zero zone. Everything gets out of here, channeled. There is.
There are readings, but none like that.
Nothing. I don't even read woman to you. I don't have a habit of reading. I just write. That's right.